Hello, Melton Guy, and I'm taking another look. I'm going to ask a question. It may sound strange to some, but not if you've been paying attention. I'm just thinking and wondering and asking, should we simply give it all away or sell it to the highest bidder? I'm talking about our country. In many ways, it seems this country is up for sale or in the prospect of giving itself away to a situation that is going to destroy us. All right, I'll move on off from that, from the idea of we might be involved in a plot or in a frame of mind that we're going to let our country slip away from us. But I simply heard something that really, really affected me. And that is that out of the MAGA House of Representatives, there was a bill proposed to change the name of Dulles International Airport to Donald J. Trump International Airport. Now, don't get me wrong. You can change, they can change, we can change any name of any airport we'd like. Nothing wrong with that if you want to change the name. But what that name becomes is very important. Because every time we put something out there that becomes an icon, like a Dulles International Airport, O'Hare, or any of the airports, some of the buildings in this country, if we rename them in honor of treacherous, outright insurrectionists, no love for this country whatsoever people, then we're branding ourselves with a new legacy. No, we really do not want. I can only speak for myself. I don't want it. But I really believe in the bottom of my heart that neither do most of us. Why don't we just change O'Hare National Airport to Al Capone International Airport? Yeah, let's rename O'Hare Airport Al Capone Airport. I mean, that is Al Capone. He's evil enough, don't you think? If that's the trend, he needs to get in there on this. Become more of our legacy than what he is. How about this? Maybe this will hit a note. How about changing Ronald Reagan International Airport to Bernie Madoff International Airport? And then, we can become very imaginative, creative. And we don't have to stop there. There are all kinds of possibilities. What do you think of changing Southern Baptist Church to Southern MAGA Baptist Church? Or Assemblies of God to Trump Assemblies of God? And I could go on and on and on, but I need to stop here and say, now I realize all of my suggestions, and I hope you know, are as extremely ridiculous, if not sacrilegious, as this suggestion, this proposed bill. Everything I said should be something creating laughter, created as a joke that you are to feel good about because it makes you laugh. Does it make you laugh? But everything I said fits into that. But that H.R. Bill 7845 coming out of the MAGA Republican Party, that do-nothing House of Representatives, which aspires to changing Dulles International Airport to Trump International Airport. Well, it does not take second place to anything I said. We have as much right. You have as much right. We have as much right to push those that I've mentioned because they all fit the qualifications. You know, by using their logic, their values, and their disregard for the Constitution, their disregard for the law and the statutes of this land, that bill fits right in with all that crap I suggested at the top of the video. You know, I was absolutely horrified to see and hear my use of a double negative on my last podcast. I'm not saying everything else I said in that podcast, in that video, was totally grammatically correct. But I have this thing about double negatives. I was horrified. I didn't review my podcast as I usually do on that day. And I let one slip by me. I worried trying to determine what if there was anything I could do. Of course, it was too late. It was out there. But you know what? Suddenly, in all that, I realized that worry that I had was normal. It was a normal worry. For a few moments, I worried about something whose outcome would be all right, whichever way it would go. Whatever happened about that one particular thing, that double negative, the worry, the laughter, whatever, the criticism, was normal, was not going to affect my life, was not going to affect this country, was not going to affect this world. It was just normal. Which is what that last podcast is all about. Trying to find some normalcy in what's going through our minds and hearts. And you know, it actually felt kind of good to worry about something so trivial. To worry about something out there so trivial that was not going to shock and change this world and recreate a country's legacy from positive to negative and maybe destroy it. Now, if you're thinking that I'm letting our possible incoming disaster by the MAGA Republicans and Donald J. Trump takes up too much of my life, then you are absolutely correct. But I cannot apologize. On the contrary, I'm reaching out to the choir that's listening to me. If you're listening now, I'm reaching out to the choir. Yes, I know, as I said on a number of occasions, the choir is whom I'm preaching. And that is the reason for this today, this plea, these future pleas, these future begging sessions. And that is to share, 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 and then share some more. Find some way to get out there. The idea that Donald J. Trump and the MAGA Republicans, that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, and all of that group that belongs to that crowd, they do not have this country's best interest at heart. You need to find a way to share it. If you share it with 10 people and only one listens to half, maybe they will hear something that will at least make them think. Now, here's an idea that I thought about. I don't know why it came to mind at that particular time, but I remember watching Saturday Night Live. One of my favorite on there, and of course that's neither here nor there, but one of my favorites was Phil Hartman. And the way he presented himself as when he was pretending to be a president, or pretending to be a caveman lawyer, or pretending to be a senator, or whatever he pretended to be. And there were others on there that did the same thing. But you listen to them, and as you listen to what they were saying, you always knew that at any minute the crowd was going to burst out into laughter. That it was a joke. That what he was saying and what they say, and it happens in other shows too, but I'm focusing on this for right now. Just bear with me. We knew on Saturday Night Live when Phil Hartman made one of those speeches that he made so often as another person, as the president, we knew that at any moment now, the crowd was going to burst out into laughter. And I say that to say this. When I watch Donald Trump, when I hear Marjorie Taylor Greene open her mouth, and the same for Jim Jordan, and there's so many others there, Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz, we know what's coming out of their mouths are lies, because they can't talk, they can't speak without telling a lie. I watched Donald Trump talk about the abortion. He's in trouble, because of what he said, didn't say, or done, what he didn't do. But he described a scene where the progressives, the Democrats, were supporting these abortion doctors who would perform abortions at the end of the 9th month, and even drew a picture going a little farther, that even after they were born, there was a moment of time, it seemed, that they could just drop that baby in a trash can and it was all right. And that's what Democrats are backing. And if you believe that, then there's something wrong with you. That is not happening. That never happened. There are enough murders out there to worry about, but to create something that is not happening, it's ridiculous. But I sat there and watched him do all of that. And I'm laughing and I'm saying, really, you're on television, you're being filmed, you're being videotaped, you're being heard by millions of people, and you're saying this? And all of a sudden I thought, well, any moment now, the whole room is going to burst out into laughter. But yet I knew this and other things about Donald Trump is no joke. His danger is ever present. The man has gotten away with things that you and I could never get away with, and that doesn't sit well with me. If he were innocent, I'd be the first to say, leave him alone. But we know he's not innocent. We know he's committed rape. We know he has stolen. We know he lies every time he opens his mouth. Every time I hear Donald Trump speak, it could be funny if it were not so dangerous. So if you're expecting the end game to be laughter, If you're listening to me and thinking the end game is going to be laughter, because what he does is so ridiculous, and what he says, and Margaret Taylor Greene is like a cartoon figure. You just wait for that. Where's the funny part? But let me tell you something. There's not going to be a funny part. It's not a joke. It's not Saturday Night Live. This is our country. And Donald Trump grabbed hold of this country's neck in 2016, and he hasn't let go. He's still squeezing, and he's got others out there like Taylor Greene and Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz and Jim Jordan helping him squeeze. And at no point is the House going to break out into laughter, because they take him seriously. They do. And so should you. Share, share, share. Please help us get this out of the ears of the choir and into the ears of the other people in church or wherever. Think about this. God bless you. I will plug my book, The Offspring of Ignorance. It's being sold at Amazon as we speak. I hope you will be inclined to purchase a copy and read it and then share it. As far as my podcast, I wish you would give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever. That's the name of the game. And if you feel inclined to do so, subscribe, and share. Share. That is the magic word right now. Share. Not with a choir, but you know who. I want to say God bless to all of you, and I hope you are listening to Tennessee Brando and Texas Paul and Owen Morgan, and there are many others out there that are trying to do the same thing I'm doing, is get the word out of the ears of the choir and into the ears of the others. Think about it. Never has it been so important to share. God bless you.